Hello, I'm Maddie, I'm 53, I'm from the UK, and this is my local park across the road from where I live. As you can see, it's extremely overgrown and very unlooked after. There's a lot of facilities here, the video didn't say. There's a lot of facilities here, but sadly, due to cutbacks in funding, the council had to get rid of a lot of staff and things don't get looked after like they used to. The building here that you can see is a cafe, a bar, did food and drink, and it had public conveniences in it, but it's been closed for the last 2 years, very sadly. And as you can see, everything is very overgrown with weeds and stuff. I would not suggest trying to go in amongst the weeds because there might be needles hiding in there due to a large popularity of homeless people who are drug addicts and alcoholics due to unfortunate circumstances.
Not all of them are. Not all homeless people are.
No, I didn't say they all
no,
are.
I'm just saying.
I do know we're not all. I was homeless for a couple of months, not that long.
We are as well, but we don't sleep or anything here.
Oh no, I wasn't saying you do.
Yeah,
no, but
it's not everybody.
it sounds like it's something positive that you're doing there.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to make people aware of the problems of life today in Bournemouth, especially the fact that our council, I worked for them for 20 years, and the fact that our council actually turns around and says, we don't have a homeless problem, we don't have a drug problem.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We really do.
You know.
Go on, Go on.
Not all homeless people are drug addicts, but there is a very big problem with homelessness, drug addiction and alcoholism. But the council told me that we are not vulnerable because we do not inject. Yeah. If you do inject drugs, you do get put into a hotel. Thank
you, that's what I was about to say next, because I was made homeless in January of last year, 2018. I went to the local council and they told me, you've got a few health problems, they're not that bad, you're a single person, you're not an addict, so you can live on the street and not be seen as being vulnerable. But they forget I worked for the council. I'm known on the streets by the homeless people because of the job I do, which in my mind makes me very, very vulnerable. And I don't think it's right, because why should they just put drug addicts and alcoholics up?
Thank you.
And that is exact. Yeah, and B&Bs and very people posh. Like us that are normal
get left out to suffer.
Exactly, and this is what goes on in Bournemouth. And you've just heard this from two homeless people who just happened to be in the park. So we just got talking.
Just putting our feet up and getting a bit of sun.
Yeah, it's a lovely sunny day because
make positive of the day.
Yeah, because it's a beautiful sunny day because it's the start of our summer. And thank you guys for a nice chat.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
It's nice to see someone's actually. You know,
and somebody knows
someone that
that
knows
we're
about
not telling lies.
No, I know.
It's the truth and it's horrid.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I've been there. I've been homeless 4 times in my life.
And the worst thing about it is...
And the worst thing is, if you're a woman, they say go and get pregnant and then you'll get housed.
But at 47, sterilised, it's very hard.
And at 53 with health issues, don't want to get pregnant. Not the right age group for that. And plus I'm a single person, so... So this is just some of the stuff that goes on in Bournemouth, as you can see. And most homeless people do not get any benefits because their benefits get stopped because they can't job hunt because they haven't got a base.
And can I tell you that 90% of people begging on the streets in town have homes, have roofs over their heads.
Yes, and same with the...
we cannot go out to make a living.
Exactly, and same with the big issue sellers. A lot of them are selling the big issue purely to feed their drug and drink habits. And the legitimate homeless people that need to be able to do these things to make a proper living can't even get a look in on it. And I know this from personal experience as well.
I got abused by a lady the other day who said to me, I'm an insult to homeless people because I'm too clean, but I will not lose my pride. And I tell you another thing.
Good for you, yeah.
I won't, because there are places for us to shower and do what we've got to do.
There's a nice facility down on the beach near the urban reef.
90% if you go and ask all the homeless people, on one hand, maybe one is genuinely homeless and the rest are all
B&Bs.
around.
Oh, I know, you don't have to tell me. As I said, I worked for the council for 20 years, got made redundant. Then I had to move out of where I lived, and because I'm on universal credit, no landlord would take me.
Yeah,
We
same.
won't accept new
Same.
tenants on universal
Same.
credit.
Unless you've got a
Same.
guarantor.
Yeah. And we don't
Even
have
with a guarantor, because I had one and they
Yeah.
wouldn't give me
Yeah, we
anywhere.
don't.
So-
Wow. I'm so glad I got to say that today.
Anyway,
Thank you.
what's your name?
I'm Maddie.
Maddie?
Mel and Ed.
No.
Nice to meet you.
Eddie.
Well, I live just across the road, so if you
Wow.
guys
Where's
want to... Well, I'm in a private rented place now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's really funny because the where I used to live on Christchurch Road, opposite Boscombe Gardens,
Okay.
the landlord there had to get everybody out of the building because he had to do a lot of major building works.
Okay.
Hence why we were all made homeless. I even had to put my cats up for adoption and rehoming. That broke my heart, it really does.
I can see
Can
it's
I
still
tell you
affecting
something else, yeah? The police will come out and move us on,
Yeah.
but leave people with needles in their arms to stay under car parks, but we're not allowed to stay there.
Yeah, I know.
Because we pick up our mess and clean up after ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's terrible. It's
And
shocking.
then ironically, the landlord who had to make me homeless, he had a flat come up, and because I'd been with him for 22 years, they knew that I was a good tenant, so they offered it me straight away.
Lucky you.
So I was lucky from that
Yeah.
point of view, but as I say, I'm very isolated now because where I lost my job, I haven't got the money to go out and
you have
see
a
friends.
garden?
Nope.
Ah,
That's why I'm over here.
yeah.
There's no garden where we are, so I have to go to the laundrette to do the washing because even if I got a washing machine, there's nowhere to hang it out to dry it or nothing. So there's no point.
Yeah. Oh, bless
So
you.
this little
Life-
survey that you're doing, I mean, you know,
Well,
Where's
I
it
was just
going up?
basically trying to start a YouTube channel off, so I was trying to do a first video
Oh, well,
actually.
there you
but
go.
So I was trying to walk people around the local area and show them some of what's available in this
Please
area
put that up.
and how.
I give you permission to put me up.
Well, I'm going to because
Yeah.
it's in the video,
Yeah, there
and that's
you
why
go.
I asked you
Yeah,
first.
of course.
So yeah, of course. Otherwise,
you.
I'd just delete it and
Yeah,
start
no.
again.
so how can I get to see that video?
Well, when I've done it, if you're around and I'm around at the same time, I
Yeah.
can try and show it you.
Oh, lovely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or you can go to the library. If you've got YouTube,
Yeah.
you can look for it on the library and
What
stuff
would
like
the
that.
title be?
Well, I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got that far. It's my
Okay.
first ever
Oh,
one.
bless you.
Okay.
Well, good luck with it.
good
I
luck.
hope something good comes of it, darling.
Yeah, me too. I hope it wakes up a
Really.
few
Yeah,
people's
so do I.
eyes.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's definitely a positive,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, trying to. So on a daily basis, how do you guys? I mean, obviously, as I just said, I know a lot of homeless people. People think even if you're homeless, you get your benefits, but no, you don't,
No, not all.
because you cannot job hunt, and if you cannot job hunt, you cannot claim benefits. That's the law of the country. So how do you guys manage for things like food? Do you use the soup kitchens or?
There is Helping Hand comes around twice a week. They're really good. They help us
Lansdowne.
with food. And I'll be honest, I do ask a few people for a bit of change. People aren't very kind anymore because of the drug problem and people begging for the wrong
Well,
reason.
Well, that and also the fact that the council tell people don't give money to the homeless people. It's better to pay for a room for them or something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, I'd love
and
someone
they
to
have,
pay for a room.
And they do have a fund that people can donate to for that. But sadly, it's getting used for all the
Yeah,
Wrong reason.
the wrong reason.
yeah. And normal people like us don't get a look in.
No, no, we don't.
Unless it's at like -4 degrees for 3 days, and then they have to put you somewhere. And by that time, you're already ill and probably dead.
That's a valid point.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're very lucky at the moment because, as I say, it's the start of our summer and the weather's getting better,
That's good.
which is good.
That's good.
And this is one of the hottest days we've had this year so far, apart from the Easter bank holiday when it was really hot. But most of this year so far has been cold, cloudy, windy and rainy. We haven't had very many dry, sunny days this year yet.
But as you can see, my suntan is coming along. a bit of humour in there.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Really, thank you.
No,
That's
you're
lovely.
welcome.
Thank you.
It's nice to talk to people that are genuine for once, instead of the... Because as I say, I worked on the streets and I dealt with a lot of homeless people in my job. So as you can appreciate, I got to see both the good and the bad. And people who when you're in the same area every day, you get to recognise people. And then you know which ones are all right and which ones are not. And you can tell by looking at most people if they're all right or not, because of if you're a drug addict or an alcoholic, there's certain things that show in your character and how you are. And your behaviour as well. And the best advice I would give anyone is if you see anybody homeless on the street and they look like they're sleeping, leave them alone, do not touch them. They could be high on drugs or alcohol and they could attack you.
And I hope we bump into you again sometime.
Well, I live here, so yeah. Well, not literally in the park, but...
Yeah, no, that's lovely, really, thank you.
So, well, this has changed the video already because I was doing what we've got in the area and stuff, but oh well. First video is a chat with homeless people then. There we go, folks. Thank you very much.